Welcome back to Sing with Cinderella. In this series, I help singers of all different skill levels reach their full singing potential. In today's episode, I am so excited to be bringing you a vocal jazz warm-up. Whether you are just learning some new tunes, some vocal jazz standards, or you're gearing up for an ensemble rehearsal, this video is for you. I'll be going over stylization techniques and how to vocally warm yourself up for whatever your practice session may bring you. If you're excited about this video, go ahead and give it a like down below. Subscribe to my channel if you have not already. Hit the bell for notifications so you get notified every time I post a new video. And let's get into the video. We're gonna play around with some swung eighths in this one, as well as some syncopation at the end of the exercise. We're gonna start with baby steps, so it's basically gonna go up in a scale, but only to the fifth note of the scale. So it'll sound like this if I were to use scale degrees. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 1. And that's the syncopation at the very end. Enjoy that as a little burst of excitement. Surprise, rest, note, okay? And we're gonna do this ascending, so we're gonna go up in half steps every cycle through. We'll raise it up a half step. So it'll sound like this. It's gonna be on the syllables do, ba do, ba do, ba do, ba do. Da. Let's just do the rhythm with a me. Here we go. Do, ba do, ba do, ba do, ba do. Da. And a two, a 1, 2, 3, 4. Do ba do ba do ba do ba do. Da and up. Do ba do ba do ba do ba do. Da and up. Do ba do ba do ba do ba do. Da and up. Do ba do ba do ba do ba do. Da and up. Do ba do ba do ba do ba do. Da and up. Do ba do ba do ba do ba do. Da and up. Do ba do ba do ba do ba do. Da and up. A down. Here we go. A do ba do ba do ba do ba do. Da and down. Do ba do ba do ba do ba do. Da and down. Do ba do ba do ba do ba do. Da and down. Do ba do ba do ba do ba do. Da and down. Do ba do ba do ba do ba do. Da and down. We're going to take the same exercise and we're going to invert it now. So rather than starting from the bottom of the scale, starting from 1, going to 5, and then back to 1, we're actually going to start from the 5th note of the scale and then go to 1. And then go to 5 again. Same concept here, but we're going to be doing it descending. So every cycle through, we're gonna lower it in a half step. We're also going to switch around the scat syllables for this one, going from da ba da ba da ba to da va da va da va, just to differentiate it for yourself a little bit and how that can bring a different vocal texture as we do this. So we're gonna start it a little bit higher up since we are going descending. Set the key here. It'll sound like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. A da va 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 da. Da and down. Da va 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 da. Da and down. Da va 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 da. Da and down. Da va 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 da. Da. Awesome. So this one we're gonna do D. And we're pushing air through with that H. He, he. And don't forget about enjoying the syncopation. D, and down, D, awesome. So now we're going to do it on zoo. So we're using the voice consonant of a Z. Yeah, it's gonna give energy to this vowel. And we're also using a closed vowel, and that's going to give us a really clear and crisp sound. You're gonna have a lot of different colors, vocal colors. Sometimes it'll be warmer tones. Sometimes it'll be more of a bright and clear and crisp sound. So this one's going to help bring those vocal cords together for zoo. We're gonna actually switch it now to, we have whoa, way, way. So O is a more back vowel. Oh, it's about mid, but then we have way, way, which is more forward and more bright with that A vowel. Okay, so we're gonna go a 1, a 2, a 1, 2, 3. Whoa, way, way and down. 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 Whoa, way, way. Also, enjoy this glide of the W. Whoa, whoa. You can really use it to your advantage. Your mouth can start really closed. Whoa. And it can give a nice effect like that if you'd like to use it in that way. Now we're going to add some agility into the mix, and this is going to be a pop kind of style grooving down the scale. So we're going to be kind of jumping around, good for the intonation, good for the ears, but also vocally to warm us up so that we're not just always going up and down the scale, because that's not how typically our lines are, but it's a good way to segue into our warm-up here. Now we're really into the heart of the warm-up with our agility getting into that. So it's going to start on the 5th note of our scale. So if I were to count up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 6, 3, 5, 2, 3, 1, 7, 1, do, ti, do. And up ascending, and up, and think lighter here. Less is more. Think smarter and not harder. To feel like a light floating a cloud. And now we can take it down and down. And down. Have a little swagger. And down. A little more lazy. And down. Whoa, hey, and down. And you can go ahead and start to add your own flair here. Add a little up the scale, down the scale, slide, add some notes, and make each one a little bit different. Start to improvise in a way. Whatever is coming to your mind, there are no wrong answers, just sing it. This next one's going to be working on going down the scale and really utilizing your chest belt voice. So we're going to start mid-range, not the very top of wherever your chest voice would be, but pretty high up to where it would be a belt. A da-do-ee-do-ee. And then we're going to go down in half steps. So with this one, it's a pretty simple one, but we're going to get into vocal colors with this one. And also just a note on the scat syllables here. Da-do-ee, do-ee. So don't chew on the D's of each of these. Just lightly go through them. And then we have the T at the end of the first scat syllable. Da. The T really just stops the sound. So imagine that your tongue is just going to brush up against the top of your mouth, enough to stop the sound, but it's not going to give the aspirate t. Da. I just stopped the sound. Da, do, ee, do, ee, and down. Da, do, ee, and down. Da, do, ee, and down. Use the glides. Da, do, and down. Cool. So now we're going to think of a different color every time we go through this exercise. I'm going to bring it back up again. Da, do, do. Now we're going to sing it as if it were a turquoise blue. So sing whatever your turquoise blue feels like and sounds like in your voice. It might be a little different from mine. It's all about perspective and it's very personal to you. So let's go ahead and sing it as turquoise blue. 1, 2, 3, 4. Da, do, ee. So So that to me was a little more sparkly. It's a brighter color, right? Now I'm going to think of a sky blue and how that could change your articulation, change the placement of your mouth. So maybe I'm thinking of a farther back vowel. I'm thinking more of an ah or an o rather than an e, even if I'm singing an e. It's all about manipulation and changing the tongue position and also what your mouth is doing and the way you're placing it. Okay, so we're gonna think of this one as a light blue. We're gonna start there with light blue, sky blue. A 1, 2, 3. Da, do, e, and down, yellow. Da, do, e, and down. We're gonna do pink. Da, do, e, and down, magenta. Da, do, e, and down. Change with onsets and offsets and how that can help incorporate the way you're shaping this color and the way you're painting that picture, quite literally painting that picture with the colors. Use your other aids, use your vocal aids, your vocal effects to help color this phrase. Just a couple of notes here. Da, do, e. How can you make it sound so different for one piece specifically versus one other style, a different groove, and that'll help you be thinking to segue into your practice session when you're actually working on songs. We're gonna continue with this exercise, but we're gonna switch it with instruments. So I'm gonna think trombone on this one with just da, do, e. We're gonna bring it back up because we were getting pretty low. Da, do, e. And now do it on trombone. A da, do, e. So a brass instrument's gonna sound different than, let's say, a woodwind. How about a flute? Da, do, e, and down. Here's flute. A 1, 2. A 1, 2, 3, 4. Da, do, e. Yeah, so now we're going to take our vocal effects that we haven't touched yet. We talked a little bit about color. We talked about warmth, lightness, darkness in our sound and our tone, and how I compare that to colors. That's just an example. If that works for you, awesome. Take it, use it. But now let's play with vibrato. We can have a straight tone. So we could have da, do, e. Or we could have a da, do, e. See how that's a very different sound? Play around with that. You can also have straight to vibrato, a da, do, e. And I'm just using it to color at the ends. Play with crescendo, decrescendo, play with accent. Use the glides of the da, do, e. I'm using the W to elide the notes. This next one's really gonna test your intonation, your ears, and give you a challenge as we go down in this descending line in minor. So this one's also gonna play around with triplets. We're gonna have triplet rhythms. So we talked a little bit about the swung eighth notes in the beginning. A do, ba, do, ba, do, ba, do, ba, do. Long, short. Rather than do, ba, if it were straight, which is, I mean, both of them you'll find them in jazz, but a lot of times we have those swung eighths. We also have triplets, which is what we're going to be working on in this next exercise. So oftentimes we work so hard on working these major scales. It's ingrained in our mind, but it's not as common that we do minor. So I like to always incorporate at least one minor exercise in my warm-up heading into the practice session. It's just a good ear test for you just to keep up with that and how that feels. Also, descending is more of a challenge than ascending a lot of times with a lot of people. So we are going to go from the fifth note of the scale. Let's actually just do a major. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now do it with me. We're going to go up to the same thing, but we're going to make it minor. So that means we're going to lower that third note of the scale. Let's stop on the third note. 1, here we go. 1, 2, 3. Rather than 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So the triplet rhythm, it's going to be 1. Da, 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 and down. So I'm going to put 3 notes in the place of what one beat would be. So these are triplet eighths. Da, ha, ha, I'm gonna do the third note again. Da, ha, ha. 5, 4, 3, flat 3, 3, 2, 1, 1, 1, and down. 5, 4, 3, 3, 2, 1, 1, 1. And now we're gonna do it on a da. So we have another grooving down exercise. This is gonna be in a blues feel. What's challenging about this one, we have a couple of accidentals, even more than the last exercise. We have a flat 7, and that's the first note that it starts on. So to find your root, 1, flat 7. So you can think of West Side Story, there's a place for us, in order to find that interval. So we have 1, So we have a couple of main ingredients, some main notes in this exercise that are going to help us sing this phrase. We of course have our first note, the first note of the scale. Also the first note of the exercise is the 7, the flat 7. We talked about how to get from there to there. So we have the root note. There's a 1, So we have the 1 and we have the 7, and then we also have the 5th note of the scale, which is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 5, 1, 1, 5, dun 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 dun. So we have the Star Wars theme to find that perfect 5th, which is the 5th note of the scale, and that's all of these notes are in the phrase. So if you do get lost along the way, you'll gravitate towards these like, oh, I know this one. You'll find your way back by finding your anchor notes. So let's take it chunk by chunk and just take the first 3 notes. So if I were to give you the first note of the scale, it's going to be da. Now find the flat 7. Da, da. Awesome. We're going to chunk it. So here's the first 3 notes. We have the flat 7. So we have flat 7, 6, 5. Let's just repeat that a couple of times. Just loop it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Doopa 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 and doopa 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 and doopa doopa doopa. One more. Doopa doopa doopa. Awesome. Now the next one's going to be a flat 3. I'm going to hold it on that one. Just listen once. A doopa 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 doopa. That's the flat 3. I'm going to hold it. Do it with me and hold it when you get to that flat 3. A doopa 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 doopa. Awesome. Now we're going to, that's one chunk. We're going to work on that second half. We're going to tag it on. So we have coming from the flat 3, we have doopa doopa doopa. So we have 2, 1. We're going down the scale from the flat 3. We have coming from the flat 3, doopa 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 doopa. Do 2, 1, 6, 1. So from the flat 3, we're going down the scale. We go to 2 and then we go to 1. Doopa 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 doopa. 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. 6, 1. Ba-da-da-da-da-da-da. So it's coming back here. It's that second triplet, the same notes. 3, 2, 1. 6, 1. 1, da. A doopa 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 da ba doo da and up. Doopa 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 da ba doo da. You are rocking it out. Seriously, you're doing so great. That was a very challenging exercise. Don't feel pressured if you didn't get it off the first try. Definitely come back to it. You know, you can always pause the video and go back and replay it and listen to it over and over again. Take it in chunks. Take it at a slower tempo. Doopa 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 da ba doo da. It's not a race for when you can have it, whether that's in 2 weeks or 2 years. You are on your own calendar and it's going to differ from everyone else around you. So really don't feel worried. Go at your own pace until you can master it. And before you know it, you'll be and then you can create your own exercises and keep on playing around with this kind of a style. Now, if you did get the exercise right away and you want more of a challenge, Go for it. Start to put in some stylistic elements. Take it at different tempos, feel it in different grooves. You can also switch up the rhythm. Take the same notes and then create your own rhythm to the same exercise. So continue to play around with it, add different vocal effects, crescendo, articulation. Keep on playing with those different things. You can add your own scat syllables, adapting the exercise to you. So speaking of adapting to you and different stylistic elements, another key component of jazz is to mimic jazz instruments. So our voice is very versatile and we're very lucky to have it right in our own bodies. How cool is that? And it can do so many different things. So with this exercise, really channel your different instruments. So it's gonna go like this. It's gonna start with arpeggio. 1, 3, 5, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So then it's gonna go back down the scale. I'll give it once through so you can hear it. 1, 2, 3. Do ba do ba do ba do ba do. Hey yeah, and up. A do ba do ba do ba do ba do. Hey yeah. So imagine that you are just moving that trombone. You can add a you da, almost like a trill or a turn. So imagine that you are embodying these jazz instruments and all the different things that they can do, all the different sounds that they can produce, and start to add those in, add those scoops, slides. You can add a growl if you so choose. So here it is. We're gonna take it up in half steps, and this is really going to help your upper range as well. Think in the place of the high note and start the phrase. Don't have too much weight in the bottom, otherwise that's gonna bring you to the top and it's gonna be very hard to achieve those notes. So I'm thinking in that lighter place, floaty, a 1, 2, a 1, 2, 3, 4, do, ba, do, light, ba, do, ba, do, ba, do, da, ya, and up. And that about wraps up our jazz vocal warm-up and exercises video. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Let me know in the comments below which one was your favorite exercise. Which one will you be putting to the test in your own practice sessions? I'd love to hear about it. And if you'd like to offer some suggestions for future videos, also leave them down below. If you have not already, please give this video a like. Subscribe to my channel, hit the bell for notifications so you get notified every time I post. And I hope to see you next time on Sing with Cinderella.